are going to conduct a motivational session on by a successful entrepreneur, Mr. Katta Srinivas Reddy Garu. So he is experienced managing director with a demonstrated history of working in the information technology and services industry. Skilled in global delivery, people management, IT strategy, management, and project portfolio management. A strong business development professional with a BTech focused in ECE from REC Warangal. Then he did his master's in Delhi from the Delhi University. Right now, he has worked with many companies like Telecom Switching as divisional engineering, or Wipnode Technologies. He worked there as project manager as well as technical manager. Right now, sir is working with as managing director in Idea Bytes. Idea Bytes is a Canadian multinational technology company headquartered in Ottawa with a development center in Hyderabad, with additional office in San Jose. So Idea Bytes leadership comprises of global management team from Canada, Sweden, and India. So the main products which they focus on are test automation and application development. Sir, on behalf of IRE, we welcome you for this session, sir.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much for inviting me to this session. I see a good number of participants are there. Nice to see almost nearly 92, maybe more than 100 people may be joining. That's what I heard from Prasad Reddy, I think, right?
Yes, sir. Myself, Prasad Reddy.
Yes.
Hi.
Yes, sir. Sir, I given the host to you, sir. You can share your PPT also right now.
Sure. Yes, I will share some my PPT and then I can you give me the rights? I think I can share it, right?
Yes, sir. Right now I given the right to you, sir. I made you as the co-host, sir.
Okay, fine. That is good. So you can see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That is good.
Guys, this is a great opportunity for you guys to meet a successful entrepreneur. In the last class, we were discussing about entrepreneurship, entrepreneur mindset, how a person who wants to become an entrepreneur, how his mindset should be, and in which direction he must pursue. What are all the things that are provided by the government as well as the private sector to flourish in this industry. So if you have any doubts, please communicate with sir and get all your doubts cleared.
Yeah, asking the doubts, maybe you can put on the chart and then or we can have at the end, maybe somebody has to coordinate what kind of questions are coming to me. Yes. But let us go through, okay, my journey, and I started this company, Idea Bytes, in 2009. We completed 12 years now. I want to share what happened in my career and what kind of learnings you can take, and how can we really how can you actually start into this direction of entrepreneurship? So maybe I will give some ideas here. Pursuing entrepreneurship, understand your grit. So grit is something very important word for entrepreneurship, and that we will discuss the meaning at the end. Okay. Now, what I will try to cover is my journey from engineering. Like you people, I have done my engineering in bachelor's engineering, and then now I became an entrepreneur. I want to just explain my journey, how I started, and then where I am now. And another few topics like testing your passion. I think one of the things is, are you really an entrepreneurship skill set, or are you looking for entrepreneurship? Are you having the traits of entrepreneurship? Do you have this? So you need to test your passion actually, and what exactly is entrepreneurship, and what are the difference between corporate job and entrepreneurial job? What kind of challenges, what is the mindset and key factors and this and that, all kind of things. So let us maybe just start with my career. I completed my engineering in 93, electronics and communications, and master's from Delhi University. So again, communications engineering. And I was actually started my career as ITS officer through engineering services in 93, the telecom officer. Then after serving 5 years in the DOT, then I switched to Wipro almost 10 years. I was actually serving Ericsson. This is again multinational. I was in Europe most of the time, like Sweden, Italy, Germany, these countries. In 2009, I started this company. So overall around 25 years of experience, and this is 12th year where I'm serving as managing director. I founded this company along with my partners who are now in Canada, some of the partners. And I'm taking care of the delivery and all the responsibilities here in India. We are around 100-member team here, more focused on the products and the innovations. I also have the certification of PMP. This is a International Project Management Professional Certification for project managers. And then Six Sigma Black Belt. This is more like a process-related certification, and then also some patents filed by me and in the company. So this is just a brief entrepreneurship journey. So the what made me to start this company in 2009? There's just one interesting thing. So first of all, when I started my career in government, it's like actually I was almost a head of a district, and they completed a government bungalow and a car at the age of 22. More than 100-member team were working, and there's a big post actually. Like ITS officer is kind of a king for telecom head in a district, even at the start of, just like equivalent to a collector. And that's what I started as as
Sir,
ITS
can you
officer.
abbreviate ITS?
Indian Telecommunications Service, like
Okay, sir.
IPS. Like IPS, all these are UPSC posts, telecom services, postal services, police services, administrative services. All these are part of it's kind of, so this is the only service under technical area, engineering services through this cadre, and even railway services actually. So the career starts from DE, divisional engineer, up to member services who reports as a secretary to the MP, secretary to the minister. So that is how it is, the whole career. Telecom board members and even railway board members, all of them, this is a good profile as far as government career is concerned, one of the best profile for telecom, especially for engineering graduates. But over the time, IT has taken over this field, and IT is becoming more and more popular than ITS or IAS or IPS, all these UPSC cadres. So after serving 5 years, I thought I was heading the Hyderabad Telecom district at that time, and I thought that this growth is limited in government, and it's more like bureaucracy, and then we have limited innovation, or we can do something. And I was gold medalist in REC Warangal. I was the topper actually in the EC branch, and I thought something I should do on my own, or something where telecom or my own knowledge can be used. So at that time, I shifted to Wipro. In 2000, actually 2000, I joined Wipro, and I got a posting in Ericsson Telecom. That is switching every mobile call in the world. No, it goes through at least 50% of the calls through goes to Ericsson backend switches. They are called switches. They're big equipment. That is how the Ericsson is spread, and even it's more than 150 years company. It's very one of the most popular telecom company, I can say, from Sweden. So I stayed for a few years in Sweden and Italy and Germany, and then I gained a good knowledge in the industry and in technology field. Then in 2009, I thought this Wipro is going well. It's a good salary and all, the position is nice. But at the same again, this kind of, I was actually feeling that I was in a box. Like I have my own some small responsibilities, and I need to do this. And so I was not feeling that comfortable. I want to come out of that comfort zone. So then I started this 2009, this company called IdeaBytes. Then it is, we are very successful, and we are building some of the products. I will share you what products we are building at the end of this. I do not bore you with my company related matters, but I want to focus more on the entrepreneurship, like how one can come out. And then so the idea of starting a company where I was Wipro career was kind of stagnant, and then mostly not much of excitement to say that okay, there is a work, there is some opportunity, but it's not like this exciting that I can do something on my own, I can put some innovation into this. And then we thought, me and some of the colleagues in Ericsson, I came out from Wipro and then started this company. So yeah, you you need to see the time where you feel that, yeah, I need to do something on my own. That is one starting point of anybody's career, that working in corporates, then you suddenly realize that things are not what you are feeling, that you need to do something different. So that's where. Now, what is your passion actually? What is your passion? See, any entrepreneurship starts with a very high passion that I need to do something on my own. Something, the passion and also the perseverance, that's what is called grit actually. And it is not a one day affair. It's like, okay, I have high passion today and tomorrow I have something else. Not like that. It is a sustained for until you get the success, and tirelessly, I mean, working tirelessly, and you need to go behind that idea that, okay, this is my idea, I want to make it success, and putting all your energies and take all your support mechanisms, maybe friends, maybe network, ecosystem, and move out of that comfort zones. You need to take risks. So that, okay, many companies, they're not successful actually. Maybe in 5 years, if you see, more than 90% of get failed actually, all startups. But there is a big learning in the failure process, and you have to be ready for that kind of failures. So failure, suppose you make a product and people say that, okay, I don't like this product. That's a way of life. And you have to improve further. Okay, you have to go further. You need to understand the market. You have to achieve the perfection. So the passion and continuing with the passion is one of the most important. So I have one interesting video actually. I want to play it, and so that you can really appreciate what makes a passion actually. What is the direction you need to think actually. Okay, so let me stop here and then share one video. Is my voice clear to you?
Yes, sir. Voice is clear, sir.
Okay, great. Okay, so let me share this to you. This is in English, but if you are listening very, very closely and more carefully, I think you can understand it's little bit of the fluency and the accent is different, but I mean, very important. One of the very important aspect of I think entrepreneurship is I'm sharing through video. You can see the
Turning ideas into action. Watch these TED Talks by going to pmi.org.
Yes, sir. It's okay.
Is the audio fine?
Yeah, fine, sir.
Okay.
How do you explain when things don't go as we assume? Or better, how do you explain when others are able to achieve things that seem to defy all of the assumptions? For example, why is Apple so innovative? Year after year after year after year, they're more innovative than all their competition. And yet, they're just a computer company. They're just like everyone else. They have the same access to the same talent, the same agencies, the same consultants, the same media. Then why is it that they seem to have something different? Why is it that Martin Luther King led the civil rights movement? He wasn't the only man who suffered in a pre-civil rights America, and he certainly wasn't the only great orator of the day. Why him? And why is it that the Wright brothers were able to figure out controlled powered manned flight when there were certainly other teams who were better qualified, better funded, and they didn't achieve powered manned flight, and the Wright brothers beat them to it? There's something else at play here. About 3.5 years ago, I made a discovery, and this discovery profoundly changed my view on how I thought the world worked, and it even profoundly changed the way in which I operate in it. As it turns out, there's a pattern. As it turns out, all the great and inspiring leaders and organizations in the world, whether it's Apple or Martin Luther King or the Wright brothers, they all think, act, and communicate the exact same way, and it's the complete opposite to everyone else. All I did was codify it. And it's probably the world's simplest idea. I call it the golden circle. Why, how, what? This little idea explains why some organizations and some leaders are able to inspire where others aren't. Let me define the terms really quickly. Every single person, every single organization on the planet knows what they do 100%. Some know how they do it, whether you call it your differentiating value proposition or your proprietary process or your USP. But very, very few people or organizations know why they do what they do. And by why, I don't mean to make a profit. That's a result. It's always a result. By why, I mean what's your purpose? What's your cause? What's your belief? Why does your organization exist? Why do you get out of bed in the morning? And why should anyone care? Well, as a result, the way we think, the way we act, the way we communicate is from the outside in. It's obvious. We go from the clearest thing to the fuzziest thing. But the inspired leaders and the inspired organizations, regardless of their size, regardless of their industry, all think, act, and communicate from the inside out. Let me give you an example. I use Apple because they're easy to understand and everybody gets it. If Apple were like everyone else, a marketing message from them might sound like this. We make great computers. They're beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. Want to buy one? Meh. And that's how most of us communicate. That's how most marketing is done, that's how most sales is done, and that's how most of us communicate interpersonally. We say what we do, we say how we're different or how we're better, and we expect some sort of behavior, a purchase, a vote, something like that. Here's our new law firm. We have the best lawyers with the biggest clients. We have, we always perform for our clients, do business with us. Here's our new car. It gets great gas mileage. It has, leather seats. Buy our car. But it's uninspiring. Here's how Apple actually communicates. Everything we do, we believe in challenging the status quo. We believe in thinking differently. The way we challenge the status quo is by making our products beautifully designed, simple to use, and user-friendly. We just happen to make great computers. Want to buy one? Totally different, right? You're ready to buy a computer from me. All I did was reverse the order of the information. What it proves to us is that people don't buy what you do, people buy why you do it. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This explains why every single person in this room is perfectly comfortable buying a computer from Apple. But we're also perfectly comfortable buying an MP3 player from Apple, or a phone from Apple, or a DVR from Apple. But as I said before, Apple's just a computer company. There's nothing that distinguishes them structurally from any of their competitors. Their competitors are all equally qualified to make all of these products. In fact, they tried. A few years ago, Gateway came out with flat screen TVs. They're eminently qualified to make flat screen TVs. They've been making flat screen monitors for years. Nobody bought one.
The message I want to communicate is that you have to start with why. Why do you want to do the entrepreneurship? Why do you want to start a company? Or what is inspiring, or what is inspiring to everybody else about this company? Or is the idea is so unique that it is actually it is changing it's making an impact to the people, or something which is crazy to the companies, are making low cost products, or it's actually saving a lot of money to companies, or even better, more profit. So all is about why actually. Why do you want to do, or why are you thinking about starting a company? I think that is where you have to start. The first question is why. Why do you want to be an entrepreneur? I think that is the first question that you need to ask yourself. And are you ready for it? Are you ready to work with very challenging hours in terms of with a lot of crazy ideas maybe coming all the time, and you have to see what will fly. You cannot be in a comfort zone saying that, okay, I don't want to take any risk. No, that is not what entrepreneurs think. You have to be ready for entrepreneurs. Actually, when I was starting this company in IdeaBits, and I was in Wipro very comfortable and all these things, and my son was studying 6th class actually, and I told him that my son, I told that I'm quitting Wipro and want to start a company. He said, do you get salary then? I said, I don't know. I may not get that, but I have to start something new. So there is a risk actually. There is a risk of even taking care of the company and making it successful. But are you ready for that risk? Are you ready for coming out of that comfort zone and then taking care of everyday life? And one of the important thing is achieving perfection, not living in middle and then it's okay, I can just manage it. No, I don't think that will work. And so unless you actually going for perfection and ultimate something which is remarkable. I mean, it's not just okay, nice to have, but it's something, is it remarkable? So that is where the difference comes in the market. Now, just a simple terms, what is entrepreneurship and what is entrepreneur? I think it's, you all may be knowing or heard, but it's process of creating a company or enterprise, or you can call entity or organization, or some people call private company, and all kind of these definitions are there. But entrepreneurship, something, creating something, a new entity, a new company, that is called entrepreneurship. And that whole process basically, and bearing risks and in the view of making profits. The person who is creating actually is called entrepreneur. And in terms of taking the challenges and doing the development and operations, the whole thing, the whole flow actually, who organizes this, he's the entrepreneur. Now, just to give you the different perspectives here, what is, how do you perceive this corporate job versus entrepreneur actually? So, as I said, this one of the thing is for salary point of view, fixed and limited growth. Of course, you're guaranteed about salary, and as an entrepreneur, you have to start a level where your salaries are not predictable, and it's unpredictable, and you don't know how the growth will be. But it can be unlimited growth. It may start with completely nothing to a growth where you can have your own control of the growth, and you can see things can go completely differently. I mean, you can almost like unlimited growth can be achieved. So also there is a risk element. It's a limited risk. You are not taking a risk of introducing a product and then putting a lot of money and then waiting for the success. So as an employment, your risks are very, very limited. I mean, risk of, okay, if that product is not surviving, you quit that job and join in another product. I mean, that is, risk is very, very limited. And ultimately, you might have to wait 1 or 2 months, but or even go earlier and join other companies. So there's no risk in terms of employment, but there's a big risk actually. You're putting your time, money, energy, and all the passion, but it may work out or it may not work out. But if it works out, you get very high reward. So what we call this entrepreneurship, it's high risk and high reward game. Of course, you are investing your time, you're investing your money, your energy and passion, and then working out. If it works, it's wonderful. I mean, it gives high rewards. Challenges, there are less challenges or limited challenges in corporate environment or as an employee, but there are high challenges and you don't know whether it will be successful. Sometimes people call entrepreneurship like a gamble. You bet with high money and then you wait for the success. You don't know whether it will be successful or not. Because every entrepreneurship, even though it's the craziest ideas, great ideas, sometimes they're not fly also. So even many good examples, and you can just Google it. There are many cases, even most successful companies also, but at the end, like Kingfisher, there are so many such examples. Great ideas, wonderful, but at the end it didn't serve. I mean, it became a failure. So highly challenging. Failures in job, ready to take many failures and very less failures as far as the employment is concerned. The reward, limited, high rewards, high loss. If it is working out, it is excellent. The leadership skills, as a leader, of course, all this need not be. Of course, you can have a individual developer. You are not really making others motivation or role model for others, but as an entrepreneur, you cannot be sitting alone. Actually, you have to be a leader. You have to start motivating others. You need to think of as a team, what my team is doing. Is my team motivated enough to achieve the growth? You should be sitting in the driver's seat and the role model to everybody else to say that, okay, we are tending towards. So can somebody mute? I think it's okay. So just to give that, now coming to what kind of traits are there in entrepreneurship actually, and maybe before the traits, I also want to just cover some of the factors of success. I mean, what success factors in terms of what kind of companies, what makes a company successful, what are these different parameters or factors. So I have an interesting slide. The person who is inspired for starting the hundreds of companies, actually it's called Idea Lab, and a very interesting video. I will just try to write it for your. And this video also very interesting, the earlier one also, I think should take a look at it.
Things. But if the startup organization is so great, why do so many fail? I'm really excited to share with you some findings that really surprised me about what makes companies succeed the most? What factors actually matter the most for startup success? I believe that the startup organization is one of the greatest forms to make the world a better place. If you take a group of people with the right equity incentives and organize them in a startup, you can unlock human potential in a way never before possible. You get them to achieve unbelievable things. But if the startup organization is so great, why do so many fail? That's what I wanted to find out. I wanted to find out what actually matters most for startup success. And I wanted to try to be systematic about it, avoid some of my instincts and maybe misperceptions I have from so many companies I've seen over the years. I wanted to know this because I've been starting businesses since I was 12 years old, when I sold candy at the bus stop in junior high school, to high school when I made solar energy devices, to college when I made loudspeakers, and when I graduated from college, started software companies. And 20 years ago, I started Idea Lab, and in the last 20 years, we started more than 100 companies, many successes and many big failures. We learned a lot from those failures. So I tried to look across what factors accounted the most for company success and failure. So I looked at these 5. First, the idea. I used to think that the idea was everything. I mean, I named my company Idea Lab, and how much I worship the aha moment when you first come up with the idea. But then over time, I came to think that maybe the team, the execution, adaptability, that mattered even more than the idea. I never thought I'd be quoting boxer Mike Tyson on the TED stage, but he once said, "Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face." And I think that's so true about business as well. So much about a team's execution is its ability to adapt to getting punched in the face by the customer. The customer is the true reality. And that's why I came to think that the team maybe was the most important thing. Then I started looking at the business model. Does the company have a very clear path generating customer revenues? That started rising to the top in my thinking about maybe what mattered most for success. Then I looked at the funding. Sometimes companies received intense amount of funding. Maybe that's the most important thing. And then, of course, the timing. Is the idea way too early and the world's not ready for it? Is it early, meaning you're in advance and you have to educate the world? Is it just right, or is it too late and there's already too many competitors? So I tried to look very carefully at these 5 factors across many companies. And I looked across all 100 Idea Lab companies and 100 non-Idea Lab companies to try and come up with something scientific about it. So first, on these Idea Lab companies, the top 5 companies, CitySearch, Cars Direct, GoTo, NetZero, Tickets.com, those all became billion-dollar successes. And the 5 companies on the bottom, Z.com, Insider Pages, My Life, Desktop Factory, People Inc., we all had high hopes for, but didn't succeed. So I tried to rank across all of those attributes how I felt those companies scored on each of those dimensions. And then for non-Idea Lab companies, I looked at wild successes like Airbnb and Instagram and Uber and YouTube and LinkedIn, and some failures. Webvan, Cosmo, Pets.com, Flues, and Friendster. The bottom companies had intense funding. They even had business models in some cases, but they didn't succeed. I tried to look at what factors actually accounted the most for success and failure across all of these companies, and the results really surprised me. The number one thing was timing. Timing accounted for 42% of the difference between success and failure. Team and execution came in second, and the idea, the differentiability of the idea, the uniqueness idea, that actually came in third. Now, this isn't absolutely definitive. It's not to say that the idea isn't important. But it very much surprised me that the idea wasn't the most important thing. Sometimes it mattered more when it was actually timed. The last 2, business model and funding, made sense to me, actually. I think business model makes sense to be that low because you can start out without a business model and then add one later if your customers are demanding what you're creating. And funding, I think as well. If you're underfunded at first, but you're gaining traction, especially in today's age, it's very, very easy to get intense funding. So now let me give you some specific examples about each of these. So take a wild success like Airbnb, everybody knows about. Well, that company was famously passed on by many smart investors because people thought, no one's going to rent out a space in their home to a stranger. Of course, people proved that wrong. But one of the reasons it succeeded, aside from a good business model, a good idea, great execution, is the timing. That company came out right during the height of the recession when people really needed extra money. And that maybe helped people overcome their objection to renting out their own home to a stranger. Same thing with Uber. Uber came out, incredible company, incredible business model, great execution too, but the timing was so perfect for their need to get drivers into the system. Drivers were looking for extra money. It was very, very important. Some of our early successes, CitySearch came out when people needed web pages. GoTo.com, which we announced actually at TED in 1998, was when companies were looking for cost-effective ways to get traffic. We thought the idea was so great, but actually the timing was probably maybe more important. And then some of our failures. We started a company called Z.com. It was an online entertainment company. We were so excited about it. We raised enough money. We had a great business model. We'd even signed incredibly great Hollywood talent to join the company. But broadband penetration was too low in 1999, 2000. It was too hard to watch video content online. You had to put codecs in your browser and do all this stuff. And the company eventually went out of business in 2003. Just 2 years later, when the codec problem was solved by Adobe Flash, and when broadband penetration crossed 50% in America, YouTube was perfectly timed. Great idea, but unbelievable timing. And in fact, YouTube didn't even have a business model when it first started. It wasn't even it was certain that that would work out. But that was beautifully, beautifully timed. So what I would say in summary is execution definitely matters a lot. The idea matters a lot, but timing might matter even more. And the best way to really assess timing is to really look whether consumers are really ready for what you have to offer them, and to be really, really honest about it, not be in denial about any results that you see. Because if you have something you love, you want to push it forward, but you have to be very, very honest about that factor on timing. As I said earlier, I think startups can change the world and make the world a better place. I hope some of these insights can maybe help you have a slightly higher success ratio and thus make something great come to the world that wouldn't have happened otherwise. Thank you very much, my great audience.
This is another very interesting video in terms of what makes a success of, because some people say that I have a crazy idea, and then it's nobody else having that kind of idea, and it will make a big impact to the market as well. There's no competition and so many other reasons. But its timing may be not correct actually. It means it's too early to the market. So I will tell my own one of the experience from my side. We actually developed a mobile app, Android app, and which is called Mobile Reporter. Like you can take the mobile to any outside, and then you can take the recording and even the stream it actually, live streaming from the mobile completely and to a web page like YouTube and those kind of things. And it can be act as a reporter. So when you are going out, everybody can become a reporter. So you can just take the video of suppose some accident is happening or some important something else is happening where it can become a very important or a news item to the TV channels or anybody else to go get to know what is happening. So the mobile reporter concept is to take the video instantaneously. You can stream it either live or push the button. You can upload the video and to share to the important people, and you can rate it. All kind of things can be done. When we worked out this mobile reporter in 2013 and showed some of the TV channels, and that they actually immediately told that most of the places there is no network. There's 2G and 3G actually, not even 4G those days. Then they said it won't work. So we actually tested maybe many places. It was hardly successful actually. I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, just because the network is so slow. And even to upload a small video, it is taking so much of time. So then they said that it won't work out. And they actually all having the OP vans where they upload to the satellite and then stream it. I think all you might have seen the OP vans in the cricket stadiums and other places where live streaming happening. So mobile reporter was not an idea which was successful at that time. But as you see now, 4G and 4G is coming, maybe next 5G. Anybody will have in their mobiles will have great internet. Like even 2G is 2G is almost gone, and we are getting 4G and even 5G. So the bandwidths, like you'll get at least 2 MB to 5 MB or 10 MB, even more actually, as you can see more and more. I think over the time, this idea will fly very easily into them. Everybody wants to live stream their some small events or anything. They can just use their mobile phones instead of any big setup. So, but the timing was so bad at the time. So as Bill Gross rightly said, I think he is one of the successful entrepreneurs, started more than 100 companies. He said the timing is most critical. And then the teaming, the teaming means the execution of an idea to the perfection. And then understanding competition and even finances. Are you having the finance also means the business plan? Like, for example, have you laid out all your workout? For example, how do you introduce to the market? Who will give the funding? How many people are needed? What is your competition? How USP? What is unique selling proposition of your product? So all this matters for any successful entrepreneurs. Now, I think we covered this, and then how do you sustain the challenges actually? I mean, so many times you talk about there's more than 90% of the companies failed after 5 years, but how do you sustain so many challenges coming on the way? One is positive mindset. See, every day you see failures, but doesn't mean you have to improve the system. Like, for example, one of the product we were supporting in the initial days, there's a lot of issues. I mean, the customers are saying, okay, this problem, that problem. So every time you are actually improving and you are actually convincing customers that you're communicating. So you have to make customer also as stakeholder. You say that we are improving the systems, and we again go back with a positive mindset, and then say that we have improved the technology. And so that continuously engaging the customer and telling openly that what you're trying out, how you are putting them to them. I think that positive mindset is very, very critical as an entrepreneur. And supporting ecosystem also. For example, if you want to do a job versus entrepreneur, the support ecosystem is very important, like family support system. Like sometimes as an entrepreneur, you may not get any salary for a few years also. And suddenly you may get a big funding, and the whole idea may become a big idea actually. I think when you saw that Redbus is a normal middle class, one of the guys, he started from Telangana and Bhavnagar, I think. So he's become very successful entrepreneur, and he sold, I think, for 600 crores or something. He's just started when he was having he was facing the trouble that he was not able to book the buses online, and he was facing tough time to go to Bangalore. He was working in Bangalore at that time. He got idea that why should not I start this bus portal, and everybody can just say that how many seats are open, and that's where it started. And then so many other portals have come, but just another idea. One more interesting idea. Recently, I met one of the engineering graduate, and I think just after engineering only, he started a company where he actually goes to villages and exposes, saying that Amazon and all these the online portal, he shows to them, saying that are you interested to buy this any of the product? They said yes, but nobody delivers us. So he becomes an intermediary. He actually sets up something in district headquarters or even Hyderabad. He takes to his address all those items, and he gives to the villages and take the money from them. So basically, it's after the delivery, when they're happy, they are ready to give. But of course, the good thing is that if the product is bad, Amazon and all these nowadays, you can actually return without any risk. So he is actually put a intermediary system where he is receiving all the goods from these e-commerce portal and then delivering to this. So he became very successful, and it just started soon after the engineering college. Now, just to brief about our company, we have actually four different verticals: IoT and logistics and other OTT and test automation space. We have experience in IoT and AML. IoT is Internet of Things. I think you all will, from computer science background and electronics communication, you'll come to know what is IoT and AML, artificial intelligence and machine learning. And we have a 100-member team working in different areas. We have office in Canada. We have many global customers like Cisco, IBM. These are our products. Were hardware products, gateway and temperature sensors, connectors, and so many other things. I think you will come across all this over the time. Now, one of the things that I want to tell, what kind of, how do you start like after, first of all, you need to start showing the interest on the entrepreneurship. Are you really having that kind of a desire or firing in the belly about, okay, I need to start something and I want to go with crazy ideas, and then somebody says that there's a good idea, but it looks like it's too crazy to start. But you have to think about that idea. Is it worth introducing to the field? Is the market right? Is the timing is right? And how do you fund it? And there are so many startup opportunities nowadays, and to give the funding. Even Government of India is having a startup fund. So there are finance is the last thing to think of. But first of all, are you ready for taking that kind of a challenges and jump into the field to take the entrepreneurship? And finally, the point of what I was saying is passion with perseverance. I think this is the most important thing. You may be having a lot of passion, but it's not like just 1 day, 2 days. Until you are successful, you have to perseverance continuously and then try it out till you make it success and introduce to the market and see the success of it. So I think over to the team, we can go for the question and answers. Prasad Reddy and Madam, maybe you can try to answer them.
Sir, you have done with your presentation, sir?
Yeah. So basically the PPT part is done. I can explain my experiences and other things. I want to know some of the questions and what kind of, because first year is maybe the very start of the career. So I want to see how is their interest and what kind of areas what areas you want to cover.
Yeah, first we'll hear some questions from students' side, sir.
Sure.
So then we'll have the discussion over here.
Okay.
Yeah, students, you please ask any questions if you have any doubts regarding the idea development, product development, and starting the startups, and anything about the innovation and entrepreneurship. I think in the last few weeks we are discussing about the innovation and entrepreneurship. So you might be having some idea what are the innovations, what is entrepreneurship. So based on that one, if you have even if you have any idea, so you can discuss over here. So whether it is valid or whether you can go ahead with your idea, that we'll discuss. Okay, guys, expecting questions from your end.
Yes,
So
sir.
as you all are the CSE students, you have a lot of scope in the app development or anything. So yes, sir also having the background of he's the managing director of Idea Bytes. So they are not only dealing with the hardware all the time, so they are into the software industry also. So he can have, if you have any doubts regarding either hardware or software things, you can ask the sir. Sir will try to answer. Yes.
Yeah, somebody is trying to ask.
Excuse me, sir. Can I
yes,
ask
yes.
now?
Yeah,
Please go
sure.
ahead.
Sir, actually, you showed a video regarding this entrepreneurship only.
Yeah.
So, there few factors regarding this were explained, and one of them were this development. Sorry, business model.
Business plan actually.
Actually, what is it about?
Okay. See, anything that you do generally, suppose I'll just tell a simple example. You want to go to, for example, a tour, a vacation, a plan. Now you want to go to, suppose North India, in Himalayas, you want to spend some time with your family. What are the things that you do normally? You go to a website or you take that flight, what flights are required, how many days, which hotel, how to connect. So you make some plan. So from the day you start from Hyderabad, again till you reach to Hyderabad or any other place, you actually make every day planning. Okay, we go from here. Either you write it or not, but there is a plan actually. You have to go for flight tickets. You have to take the hotel tickets. After going to there, and you have to go for the local travels and everything. So this is all called a plan actually. Plan of what you want to achieve. Similarly, in any company, when you are actually starting in a company or when you are starting an entrepreneurship, you with an idea, what you have to do is something called business plan. What is business plan? Okay, elaborating about the idea is the first step in the business plan, and then telling that is there a competitor available in the market? What kind of funding is there? What is a high level implementation plan? For example, how do you visualize? Suppose you take a mobile app. What is mobile app? What is the features of the mobile app? Very high level. How it is different from the existing apps? What is the impact it makes to the people? So you have to elaborate in that. And then if you introduce to this, how many people may use it? For example, you say that this is related to college students of CSC. Okay, how many colleges are there? 1,000 colleges. How many students are there? Suppose 100. That means 1 lakh students. Assuming that 10% of the students may take this app because of this crazy and things like that. With 10%, that means 10,000 people. With 10,000 people paying for example, 100 rupees. So you have to actually calculate the revenue that you can come out of this, and then how much money you have to spend also. For example, I take 2 engineers, 1 tester and 1 developer and this and that, all kind of thing, 1 manager. Then I need to spend some 50 lakhs for this. And then if you are implementing this product and then you are taking, for example, 2 years to 3 years or 5 years, how much time you are actually able to save the return, get the money back, and how much this profit will be there after that. So this is actually elaborating this entire, all these points in a document called business plan. See, business plan is nothing but you are actually making your thoughts very structured flow in a document, and then for whom it is important. For you, first of all, because you have to actually think much more deeper than just a very high level, I have an idea. You need to put all the points in a document. That is the first thing. And also funding people. Like, for example, you go to a bank or you go to an investor and say that I have an idea. Okay, he will say that, okay, where is your business plan? Then you have to actually go through each point by point, section by section, and then he will evaluate it actually. Is it really realistic or not realistic? And he will have his own thinking, because he might have seen several such companies or ideas, and he will rate it actually. Okay, it may not be 10%, maybe 5%, or sometimes he may see that it is a 25%. Then he will actually invest into your company, and then with some initial funding or stake, then he will support you for the development. Then you develop it and get it, and he will also support it. So all these actually putting in a nice document is called business plan, and that is very important. If you don't have business plan, that means it is just in your brain or a vague thought. There's no use of that actually.
Okay.
Sir, another thing. So actually, this entrepreneurship and everything, does that only go through one object? Like if I have one module, like take a example of a hardware thing. You're doing in a hardware thing, you are publishing only one thing. Would that run a longer, or it would stay for a shorter time?
See, first of all, what you want to do, you want to sell hardware, or you want to sell software, or you want to come out with some innovation. First of all, you need to think from the other angle actually. Is somebody ready to spend money to give for that hardware, or is somebody ready to spend money? See, customer's point of view. Suppose you're developing a pen actually. Who is going to buy this pen is the first thing. Like if you are thinking about hardware, is somebody ready there to buy the hardware? So that's the first question. The one important thing you asked is it one or many? It all depends on your idea actually. You want to sell a product which consists of software, hardware, solution, everything, or you wanted to just only hardware. For example, there are phone companies like Samsung is there. They're not having Android. They are not making apps. They are, of course, there are apps, but they're just making hardware. For example, there are so many such interesting hardware companies are there, like Dell. It's a hardware company. All the software what is there in the Dell is somebody else, like Microsoft giving operating system, apps are given by somebody else. So Dell is famous for only hardware, like Apple, of course. Apple has software also, but predominantly we call Apple is from a hardware point of view. So it all depends on your business idea, what you want to do. What's your why do you want to do that actually?
Nowadays we have our modern toys and etc. Actually, the class I actually discussed this plan in the before class. So it's like a modern toy, sir. It's just a toy. Would that be beneficial if we invest in that? A modern toy using all this Python and coding.
You should not ask your professors, or you ask me. You have to ask your younger brother to say that, are you ready to buy this? Or you actually go to the market and say that, okay, I have this, can you buy, you sell for 100 rupees or you sell for 1,000 rupees? Are they ready to buy it? If they are ready to buy, and they see that, yeah, it's really nice, I'm ready to buy it, and you ask 10 people if they are ready to buy, that means you have an idea that which is actually something that you can sell. If people say that, yeah, what is this, I don't want to buy, then that means there is no. So you have to think from other side. Is there a customer? Is there somebody ready to buy your product? It is much more from a outside look than inside look. Suppose that from academic point of view, it may be a great idea actually, fantastic. You're implementing a lot of servers, maybe very complex algorithms, but if that is not, nobody is even looking at that, it's not a commercial success. Are you ready to pursue that? It can be an academic project, it can be an academic product, but what is the use if you are interested to sell that? You need to look for buyers, right? You got the point?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
So look from customer's angle.
Sir, another guy is asking about the future of gaming industry in India, sir.
It's no, maybe I can sell something simple. Gaming industry in general is fantastic. It's mind blowing actually. I think all the kids. If you take 10 years kids to 15 years kids, everybody is predominantly, maybe after 1 hour or 2 hours of their study, most of the time they are spending at home for games only.
Yes.
And I have seen myself, my kids, and they're passionate about games. No? Like we all know that.
Yes, sir.
And it is once it was seen as, oh, what is there, big, not a small, not a big industry. But if you see now, gaming industry is a billion-dollar industry actually. It's maybe thousands of billion, not just $1 billion. It's one of the top growing area. Now again, coming to gaming industry, there are many things in gaming industry. Again, it can be a small hardware, like one of the other member asked it. So it can be a gaming, like a toy game, or something like software game itself. Like suppose you are designing something innovative, war game, or so many other things are there. So it's as an industry, I can say it's actually flourishing, and it will grow bigger and bigger. But what is the area that you are thinking about, and where do you want to really grow? That's of course you need to do research again. No, any product design or any innovation or any idea. Um, you need to think from a holistic point of view, not just for a small concept and then say that this will work. You need to think from, okay, I have this. Is it full? Is it somebody? Can I sell in the market? Suppose you upload into the internet. Can somebody buy it? So that's where you start. But gaming industry, to summarize, I think there's a future. There's a good demand, and it's a growing industry.
Basically, the MHRD recently given one hackathon, sir, 2021. So in that one, they have given nearly 68 problems, sir. So the central government, they want to promote the education through the toys and games, sir. So either it may be the physical or digital. So in this regard, the students are asking the questions, sir.
So it is actually, the field is growing.
Yes,
the field
sir.
is growing. Now,
Sir, actually, we had some limitations in that, so we had to drop back.
okay. See, I will tell one interesting phenomena what is happening in industry. The concept of even the regular apps also, they are now they are naming it as a gamification. I don't know if you heard that name called gamification. You can Google this. What it means is that suppose you are doing like I have this smart watch. Okay, if I am doing some exercises, it will give some interesting concepts like this. It will say some colors and all kind of nice angles. What it is trying to do is that when you are actually making a product, you are trying to make it so interesting that it looks like a game for others. Like it appreciates when you are walking for 1,000 steps. It says that wonderful, you have done great job today. So, and as if you are actually killed an enemy, in your game, regular game. So the regular apps also, people wanted to make it much more friendly, like a game. Then what happens is the usability goes much. So nowadays, it's becoming very regular phenomena that can you make this app also like a game? So that is nothing but gamification of the app. It's a regular app actually, but people wanted to make it much more interesting. But as a general, yes, I'm open to your thoughts. I can help you if anything on this.
Yes, yes. So one student is asking, what is the scope of machine learning engineering, sir?
Machine learning is a great area nowadays. There are several things. I want to share one video on the deep learning. Maybe.
Yeah, sure, sir.
So we have some time till.
Till 1 o'clock, you can discuss, sir. Not an issue.
Till 12 o'clock.
No, till 1
One,
o'clock.
sir, 1 o'clock.
Okay,
So 1
so
hour.
that I think in the interest of everybody's interest in the, because all are computer science students, right?
Yeah, sure, sir. We can have the session till whatever the time you want to take, sir.
Excellent. Okay, so let me share one interesting video about deep learning actually. Deep learning is a very interesting subject for computer science students. To give that kind of interest, I want to show one video to all of you.
Guys, be ready with your questions. So we'll have the long discussion. So please be prepared with your questions. So sir is ready to answer any type of questions.
Sir, we are writing down all our questions and asking it the same time.
Yeah, you can put it in the chat box. If you are unable to ask, I will ask the sir, okay?
Hello, sir.
Yeah,
Yes.
1 second. Let me run through.
Yeah, please wait. Sir is playing one video. Later we'll have the discussion.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Because you're all from computer science, no? I thought of sharing some interesting videos actually. Then I think I'll stop my camera and then share this video. See, there is a company called AlphaGo. This company, there is actually called game called Go. It's not an Indian game. It is actually a game which is played in. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Japan, sir.
This is actually. I don't know how many people know, but I was having a game here. But so it's a 19 by 19 squares, and there are only two coins. One is black and white. So other person plays black, and this guy plays white. So game is called Go game, GO. Okay, it's very popular in China and in South Korea and other Southeast Asian countries. Okay. Very, very popular. And this is actually, this guy is a European player. He's a European champion, to say. So what happened is one of the company, this company name is DeepMind, they wanted to develop a computer game which will play and beat these champions actually. Means it's a Go game. It's called AlphaGo. It's like chess. You might have seen, chess game also similar to this, and where computer games plays as one player and you will play as a second player. Similar to that concept, they are trying to develop an algorithm, which is called deep learning algorithm or machine learning. You can say machine learning to say simple.
I'm Go professional player. I'm also European champion.
Là, t'auras jamais mourir en fait. C'est juste qu'une fois tu m'as tué, t'es tellement content et que t'es paniqué. Tu as peur que la victoire s'échappe. Alors en général, quand on a peur de ça, les victoires s'échappent toujours.
I born in China. When I was 18, I want to change my life. This is why I go to French. I want to try to forget the Go. But it's impossible. Because all the things I learned in my life is with Go. It looks like a mirror. I see the Go, I also see myself. For me, Go is a real life.
So one day he got a mail from this company, DeepMind, and then inviting him to this company actually, to inviting to this.
This has been a really long journey. The game of Go is the holy grail of artificial intelligence. For many years, people have looked at this game and they've thought, wow, this is just too hard. Everything we've ever tried in AI, it just falls over when you try the game of Go. And so that's why it feels like a real litmus test of progress. If we can crack Go, we know we've done something special.
So with Fan Hui, we started talking around what the real purpose of the visit was. It wasn't just a Go project we wanted him to help with, that actually we wanted to play him, and we had a very strong program.
Oh, it's okay, just the program is so easy. So it will be easy to play.
A lot of people have thought that it was decades away. Some people thought it would be never, because they felt that to succeed at Go, you needed human intuition.
Go is the world's oldest continuously played board game. And in some sense, it is one of the simplest and also most abstract.
There's only one type of piece, there's only one type of move, you just place that piece on the board. And then your goal is to create a linked group of your stones that surrounds some empty territory. And when you surround enemy stones, you capture them and remove them from the board. You earn points by surrounding territory, and at the end of the game, the person with the most territory wins. It seems really simple, but then you sit down to play and you realize right away, it's like, well, I technically know what I'm allowed to do, but I have no clue what I should do.
Go is incredibly challenging for computers to tackle because
It became so popular because it is not like there are fixed rules how to play the game. It's all about human intuition, right? There are some many combinations. It's hundreds or maybe thousands of lakhs of times complex than chess game.
Compared to, say, chess, the number of possible moves in a position is much larger. In chess, it's about 20. In Go, it's about 200. And the number of possible configurations of the board is more than the number of atoms in the universe. So even if you took all the computers in the world and ran them for 1 million years, that wouldn't be enough compute power to calculate all the possible variations. If you ask a great Go player why they played a particular move, sometimes they'll just tell you it felt right. So we have to come up with some kind of clever algorithm to mimic what people do with their intuition.
Nice to meet you. Hello, nice to meet you too.
So with Fanhoi, we agreed a best of 5 match, and we agreed it would be filmed. You know, we would treat it as a serious match.
So
I play with AlphaGo. Ajia Huang pushed the stone for AlphaGo. And of course, I think I will win the game with AlphaGo because it's just a program.
And these are all real people actually, and they made as a documentary. So when they are signing the agreement with these people, and they actually agreed to for taking the documentary, the whole video camera of the entire conversations, the events, the games, everything. So there's no movie per se; it's actually a documentary with the real characters.
The first game, I make some mistake, and I lose the game.
In that first match, I think something clicked for him that this wasn't an ordinary Go program. We weren't just doing the same as everyone else, that something new was happening.
The second game, I try to change my style. But the problem is also I lose the second game. And also for third game, the fourth game, even the last game. I lose 5-0. AlphaGo win all the game.
After losing, you can feel his pressure is getting heavier and heavier. And several times after the game, he said he wanted to go out for fresh air. I said, oh, I can go with you and have a chat. He said, no, I want to go myself.
I feel something very strange. I lose this program. And I don't understand myself anymore.
I worried whether he'd even come back. You know, he seemed very low, and he spent about an hour away from the office. He came back completely changed.
I thought this playing with him, what they did is actually they invited the world champion, who is regarded as Viswanathan Anand for India, like that kind of a profile. Is treated as everybody likes him. He's a player from many years. So they invited him. He's actually international world champion for Go.
It's about to happen. Extremely excited to be there, extremely proud of every one of you and what we've done. And win or loss, I think it's just amazing that we're here.
아빠 기계가 하고 싸우니까 좀 이상하지 않아요?
아직은 기계가 사람을 바둑에서 이기진 않았으면 좋겠어요.
He's the international champion. So they started playing actually, game after game.
들여다봤어요. 놀랄만한 수죠.
오늘 바둑에서 처음으로 알파고가 독특한 수가 나온 거예요. 사람같이 두려고 그러네? 이런 느낌인 겁니다.
I'm Andrew Jackson. With me here is Myung-won Kim, 9-dan pro from the Korean Baduk Association. We are here live at the Four Seasons Hotel on the 21st floor. What are we looking at? How's the game going?
Oh, it's fighting, from the beginning.
From the very beginning?
Yeah. AlphaGo plays very well.
Yeah?
Just like a top professional.
Just like a top professional?
Yeah, it's very aggressive.
So he's actually mimicking AlphaGo, the steps coming on the computer screen. This guy is placing it, and he's a Lee Sedol from South Korea. Then they played for 5 rounds.
지금 힘들어요, 굉장히. 그러니까 당황했어요, 약간. 이것이 저희가 이제 가장 두려워하는 건데.
네. 흔들린다라는
흔들린다.
건가요?
with human, when you play, you can have exchange by feeling. I look in you, I know, okay, maybe you won't talk with me. Maybe you fear about me. I can feel many, many things. But AlphaGo, you can feel nothing. So when you can feel nothing when you play, you have a more than more question about yourself. For beginning, you think, okay, my move is good. And really good, oh, maybe bad.
Game position. It's typically over 50, it's often over 60.
In the games we see, often around move 150, AlphaGo goes for the kill. We're 100 move.
Not bad.
And the whole South Korea was watching this game actually when the live was happening. So from 30 million plus.
아, 이게 뭐야? 알파고 실수했습니다. 알파고 실수했습니다. 야, 세상에 이런 실수를 당하네.
There might be the first mistake, kind of clear mistake that White made.
가끔 가다가 지금 어느 순간부터 약간 실수를 해주는데 끝내기 위해서. 근데
I think he resigned. Oh my gosh.
Look at the time is stopped. Yeah. Wow.
I feel really good. I feel like I really believe in AlphaGo. Of course, it's natural that humans want humans to win. I mean, I think that's a natural response. But AlphaGo is
a company, and they've taken over for $800 million. I think around 5,000 crores or so. But before this was proved, they have taken over. Now after that, it was billions of dollars. This is one this thing, and other is the AI machine human robot. This is another interesting thing. And how many people know about this human robot? So this Sophia actually it understands what we
It's
are.
the light of the sun. The moon may not have any light of its own, but we still say that the moon shines. In much the same way, robots and AI reflect the emotions and values of the people who make us.
What does your creator value most that he passed on to you?
An ideal world would be one where humans could have a more expansive understanding of time. They could remember the past so as not to repeat it. They could see each other as children and elderly simultaneously. They could.
So many things, very interesting.
Values, the beliefs, the rules that will guide their decision making
Third,
so they have a greater.
Something which I will say is the self-driving cars. You can see this. US states, it's also approved actually, the self-driving cars. So which means they understand the traffic lights and they stop when there is somebody else on the road. All kind of whatever human we actually think about it. So that's I think it's a long way to come to India, but this is something which is becoming very crazy in US nowadays. One of the person who knows me actually is a CEO of a company. He says that he read newspapers when he was actually sitting in his car, and then he doesn't even look at the road. that's a kind of comfort that, and also the confidence that self-driving cars is slowly picking up. Okay, over to you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, guys, any questions? You please come up with your questions now. Even you can put it in the chat box.
In the last time sir showed about the slides,
Yes,
he said about timing, sir. Like, they had another thing, but then YouTube got over everything. He said YouTube had a perfect timing. How will we know that's the perfect timing to launch anything, sir? Like, any factors that would help?
Actually, yeah, it's a definitely it is not a very easy thing to know what is the exact time. It's not very easy. In that context, actually, what he was saying is YouTube became very I can say popular with one reason is that because of mobiles, the mobile internet, not because of desktop and other things. So people are able to watch the videos in mobiles, and then the internet is becoming very very cheap, and also its availability becomes so immediate. So then YouTube actually in fact, before YouTube also sharing the videos, all this was there. Some few companies have started, and it was like you, for example, Yahoo actually was having this kind of concept earlier, much before. And but the timing wise, the internet was good, and the connectivity was bandwidths were there, and people are able to enjoy the videos without buffering, and that is the perfect timing. So there are so many such instances. Timing means when the market is ready to accept your products. That is the perfect timing. Now, of course, it's not so easy. Like even Cisco in one of the conference, the Cisco CEO said they were trying to put some interesting medical or health related video conferencing kits in some of the states like Rajasthan and other like Gujarat. But in villages, there was no proper bandwidth even to somebody to talk and then explain their problem, and so even the whole exercise was a big failure actually. So it is technology can be there, very interesting. It can be very innovative. The ideas seems great, but if it is not right time, one is of course the technology. For example, bandwidth is one area, but of course there may be some other thing. The people's sentiment maybe they're not ready to accept actually maybe. So all these things are very important. As you rightly mentioned, it's not so easy to guess what is the right time.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
As of now, as we are going through this pandemic situation, I have a small idea. Just say if that would be helpful or not, sir.
Yeah.
Like a helping hand. See, everyone needs a helping hand. Like, there are few people who need help, but they don't have amount of people near him or her. They want a helping hand, but they don't have any people around. If you design a program or design an app almost like Ola, and it's like hiring the people who are jobless, and even helping the people who are elderly and who are in some sort of need, like for example, you have to take a courier from one place and bring it to the whole house. Old people cannot manage all this. If they book this through their phone or do this through their online thing through our app, it would help both of them. The people who are not having jobs, who are making who are getting into our app, making money out of our app, and who are elderly and who cannot do all this. Would that be both helpful, and would this have a good investment?
Yes, I think as an idea, as a first cut idea, yes, it is good. But there are many companies who are already doing in that similar approach, helping elderly, and there are even companies in Delhi. I know some companies are doing that stuff. See, the biggest thing is again, it's a little bit of psychological factors also. Elderly people won't suddenly behave some stranger coming to the home and then helping them.
Exactly.
Just ask your grandfather and grandmother. Some elderly somebody comes.
Won't accept everybody as soon as they.
Exactly. So even actually there is a video security cameras are there, no. US people thought that in India their parents are there and their elderly are there. Everywhere we can install these video cameras and then we can watch what's happening. And the parents didn't accept. I don't want you to watch me all the day, and I want my own privacy. Technology is good, but the people's sentiments are also makes a big difference. So it is not. There are companies who are doing that, and definitely it is an interesting area. I agree with
Only
you.
we would make some modification in it, and like that was just a base plan. If we could make,
Definitely.
if
I
we
will.
really want to make money out of it, we need to discuss. We need to take all the factors, and we need to make a lot of adjustments in it.
It is not just the idea alone. It is also marketing, and it's also about telling that there is such product available. So I'll share you one more interesting thing about this similar concept. We IdeaBits actually made a IR camera. You see this camera? This is actually, it's called IR camera. This reads the temperature from a distance. It's like gun, but you can actually keep it to the iPad, and then you can monitor the temperatures. Okay, you just have to input the person name, and then it will detect the temperatures. So this is product we developed, and with IV Smart is our logo, and this is product, and we supply to some US company. What happened is after we sold some units, the US company started saying that now there is no more requirement actually, because people feel that temperature detection was very crazy during the pandemic, maybe between March to September. Now, how many shops you are seeing temperature checking is happening? People started seeing that there's no more a requirement for them. All of a sudden, the market is not there. See, it's not like right
Started
market.
feeling Corona is no more in India.
Exactly. I went today morning. I went to this walking in a park. 99% of the people are no masks are there. If you ask them Corona, they'll say, "What is the Corona?" Corona. That is how the situation is completely changed. So it is not about right market. It's also that the dynamics will change over the time. I'll tell one interesting example. One of the Google, India head has come for one of the conference. I was along with him. He started sharing that Google's mobile searches, mobile Google search. Okay, you have Google in mobile also, right? Every mobile you have Google search. When they introduced around sometime back, like 10 years back, they thought that it will take 10 years to beat the what is that more desktop search version. Like desktop also we have Chrome and we have Google search, right? It will take 10 years to reach. To their surprise, in 3 years' time, mobile search has beaten the desktop search in just 3 years.
Yes, sir.
Which Google didn't predict actually. So yes. Even sometimes the human behavior, how fast is WhatsApp have thought that when they started with 10-member team, did they thought that it will become so popular in 5 to 10 years? I don't think it's the case. So even for example, Mark Zuckerberg also, when he started Facebook from there, he thought from a sharing within the friends app. No, it's completely different purpose, and then he didn't even think that it is for public use. It's just for university students. He started doing for his own purpose, his own entertainment and sharing between the friends. All of a sudden, it's becoming so. Sometimes predicting the market, predicting the trends, and then it's very very difficult actually. But of course, everybody they are all doing with a purpose. Why actually? I want to do this for easy of sharing between the friends, and money and the fame and this and that. All this will become. It's actually it's the byproducts of your passion, byproducts of your why question, not the the first itself is if you are thinking about money, that's not the case. Even one of the video I showed, no, Wright brothers, they were not having money, they were not having funding, they were not having a great talent, but so much of passion, and they were doing day and night. But other hand, Harvard was investing huge money for similar 1800s for a aeroplane and flying objects. They were not successful at all. But these people were just in the garage. They were having some automobile garage, and they were successful. So yeah, it's different things actually. Anyway, let's go to some more questions.
Yeah, sir, I will take the opportunity to show one of the product developed by our students. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, most of the times when we take the security, sir, especially at the lands. Yeah, guys, please wait. I will. For the security system, one of the guy developed the laser stimulus security device, sir. Here you can see the laser.
I see
Yeah,
that.
on the fields, I think this is having the only, it can detect up to 4 meters length, sir. So
Okay.
if any cattle or if anyone comes within this laser stimulus, suppose if any object comes means immediately you will get the message to the GSM mobile, sir.
Okay. What? So where is it intended to be used? What is it?
Suppose if you are taking the land, sir, if you want to make the fencing for the lands, it is going to very much costly. So most of the times. So to protect the crops from the cattle that and all, so if you are going to place such a kind of security system, so if any cattle comes, it is going to detect and sending a message to you, sir.
Okay.
It is going to be very low cost. If the fencing cost 100 rupees.
Concept is good. I think
Yes,
thought process is good.
Yes.
In terms of, see, the one is also now like the product is good. Also think about deployment point of view. How many suppose you take 1 acre of land. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Or take 10 acres of land. And where is the fencing? What is the fencing?
Yes,
What you think in the lab may not appear in the field actually.
Yes, sir. Obviously. Yeah.
Okay. You may put one sensor in one corner or 10 sensors in 10 corners, but the cattle can come in between, right?
Yes, sir.
And what you designed is a line of sight object. So you have to pierce through that only, then only it will detect. But there are so many loopholes now.
Yes,
So
sir.
anyway, I'm just giving the ideas
Yes,
on
yes.
applicability to the real field versus.
I have a doubt too.
Yeah.
Sir, the fencing in the product you just showed us,
yes,
the fencing is like the cattle may not come inside. It hardly comes inside. But due to this laser, it will just walk through it. So you need a manpower to come, and again you need to just like you need to throw them. You need to again.
Yeah. Of course. But the thing is, most of the peoples are not able to afford that fencing and all. So at least they can have this thing. They can know many things.
See, but the 24/7 they need to be near that, sir.
Yes,
If
yes.
we get a message, we get a message and we are like, okay, we need to again rush back.
We are not
Again throw the cattle.
We are not evaluating the product here. But what I'm just trying to summarize is that the idea is good, but we need to also think from a deployment point of view. See,
yes, sir. Yes.
Usability and deployment is becoming very important nowadays for any products, any apps, even
Yes,
apps
sir.
also.
Yeah.
What I think what is your name? I think you are asking many questions. We should give.
Yeah, 5C0. Your good name?
Rahul, sir.
Rahul, I think
Rahul Manamarti.
To others are silent. More than 90 people are there.
Yeah. One more I will show you, sir. I think this you can see.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a dragonfly model, sir. So this is developed by one of the aeronautical engineering students.
Okay.
Right now for agriculture, for spraying the pesticides and so many applications, people are utilizing the drones, sir. Even in India, drones are not much famous, but even if you go to other countries, so they are utilizing the UAVs for spraying the pesticides and agriculture purpose.
Okay.
But still we are utilizing the drones. So this is a very small model, sir, developed by one of the aeronautical students. It is a dragonfly model. So this can be used for such a kind of applications, sir. So for security purpose or for whatever the army and all. And even we can utilize this one for agriculture purpose.
That is good.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Guys, you please ask me anything.
Hello, sir.
We'll have the yes. 5A6. Your good name?
My name is Nishant, sir.
Yes.
So I had a question about neural networks, sir. So there is this new concept called neural networks.
Yes.
So what back in 1900s, what people thought is what can we do to make a computer think like a human? Like they had this craze about making computer think like a human. So back then they didn't have that much of computational power to even deploy a normal simple neural network. So we now actually have a lot of computational power to deploy even complex neural networks. So just like now you showed the game, right? The game of Go.
AlphaGo.
Yeah, AlphaGo. So that actually utilizes these complex neural networks. So in the same way, we can in the same way, Sophia is also developed using those same complex neural networks. So like my question is, why aren't we not utilizing those concepts of neural networks in our country? Like we can do a lot of good stuff, we can make lot of changes, we can like influence good in people using those neural networks. Like it can save a lot of manpower in places where accessing a place is difficult. Like for example, we can use these neural networks to simulate for example a war scene. Like that will help. Like actually uh, back in World War II, like the Germans had made a Enigma. There was a this what do we call that, encryption based communication service called Enigma back then.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that helped a lot. That helped Germans a lot until Alan Turing cracked the code. So here, what we can do is we can take these similar neural networks. We can also help people save lives. Like, what is the next thing that a human can do in this particular situation? We can like use these neural networks in places of psychology. We
Yes.
can use these neural networks in places where human thinking is required. Like we can help them. So is this a good good concept to learn about neural networks and
Yeah, yeah.
what's like
Yes,
I think
yes.
maybe just to summarize your question, yes, neural networks are what is called CNN or there are so many CNNs are also available. Convolutional neural
yes,
networks
yes
is the
sir.
name that
Yes.
is used now, but there are so many neural networks are there, and definitely it is coming already, and without even you realizing it. Suppose say in your mobile, it is detecting your face versus some other face. It won't detect. How is it doing? It is
Yes,
already
yes.
there, right? In mobiles, face recognition.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So
But
and
I'm not only
and
talking about its daily application, sir, but like in a major area, like face recognition is good, but it is used in our mobiles or some places
no,
of like
it
let's
is
say
used in,
bank.
you see how effectively it was used, but it was used in elections during the last one of the election in Hyderabad by election commission was introduced to detect who is voting and things like that. See, it takes time to again the deployment. See, from a laboratory research point of view, it looks very nice. It looks very good, but from a deployment point of view, you need to see so many other angles. Okay, and even for face recognition also, you need to have the database and you need to so many complexities to get. But face recognition is one area. It has matured quite much, and it is, I think it will go in a long way in so many other day-to-day lives. But for example, even idea based, no, we were actually doing a what is that disease detection of crops, like tomato crops. If you take your mobile phone and then take a photo of that, it can detect some of the like 5 top diseases. Like there are some diseases are there tomatoes.
Yes,
It can
sir.
detect
It's
immediately.
nowadays there is a new technology using this for spinach and only for curry leaves. Curry leaves. They've detected how to grow them. Just a simple photo of it.
Definitely, there are technologies coming out. I think it will come up into the day-to-day lives as the research is growing up more. See, the biggest roadblock for that deployment is accuracy levels. The
Yes.
accuracy will come when it is used and the database is growing, and then you are actually training the models again, getting better accuracy. It's a long process, but as we see that acceptability is growing up in the market, that's what we are using it.
Yes, sir. I just wanted to
Nishant,
know your opinion on those
yeah,
neural networks.
Nishant Ghosh, I would like to answer you.
Yes,
So
sir.
already there is a lot of research done based on the neural networks, but it's not come to the practical case. So already there is a lot of research done in the electrical engineering field, in the electronics, even computer people's also trying. But in the future, if you want to work with the neural networks, the data is going to plays a very major role. So for training the neural network to deploy, first of all, you should have a proper data. So the data is very, very important. I think you should have the history for over the 10 years. If you are providing the data of 50 years, and if you are going to deploy a model with 50 years data, then it is going to function or work very accurately. So for this neural networks training, especially data is going to play a very major role. Yeah.
Like it's a budding industry, right?
It's a growing industry. I think it's definitely the market will evolve even rapidly. That's everybody's expectation. Not only in agriculture field, but even enterprises. For example, we did one of the project temperature prediction of cold storages. For example, what happens in the night time? No, like suddenly power goes and then temperature is growing. And even before it crosses, it depends on the way in terms of seasonal effects, in terms of volume of cold storages, we can predict after 4 hours it's going to cross your threshold. Hence, you vacate the room and put it in another room.
Yeah.
So you are actually predicting that something may happen. It is not even happened. It may happen after 5 hours or 10 hours. You are able to predict now, so that you are actually avoiding the damage to happen.
Yes,
so
sir.
those temperature prediction algorithms we implemented for some of these cold storages.
We can also predict, we can use these neural networks in architecture field too, sir. Like if the building is stable, will the building run for long? Like, using the design of the building, we can actually predict if the building, can be used for more than 20 years or so, like that. We can also train those data models to our use. So that is why I really like studying about these neural networks. So I just wanted to know your opinion on these.
No, definitely, it is worth spending your passion. Again, neural networks and artificial networks, deep learning, machine learning, these areas are really growing now. The applications are growing in medical field, in agriculture, enterprises, power. You name the field, it is growing. It is like Hyderabad is growing in every direction. No? Like that, artificial intelligence also is growing in every direction, every sphere of life. So it's worth spending. Take an area and go deeper on that. We have few projects. Even actually, we are doing one interesting project of recognizing the pets also. And I'm happy to
Okay, sir.
offline project if somebody is interested.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
So any other questions, guys? Sir, I have one question, sir, for you.
Tell me.
So here I am looking at the innovation and incubation center, sir. Most of the students are coming with their ideas to here. So can we take the business plan when we are accepting that idea, or after making the prototype we can take the business plan from those guys, sir?
The prototype is a technical viability, whether it works or not. Most of these prototypes are POCs, what we call proof of concept, is to say that yes, this works actually. Because on mind or on paper, on theory, people say that a lot of things. Okay, I will do this. Wonders can be created.
Yes, sir.
But when you actually put it a prototype, it works end to end. Okay, this is how I start. This is how it ends. This is the result of it. If you can showcase this to any investor, then it makes a story much more interesting for them also to see that it's working piece rather than just a theory. But if your concept and if your idea is so compelling, it's so great, even on paper also people got good funding on presentations and then saying presentation, and you convince them that with your strong confidence. But having this prototype and then explaining how it can be deployed, how it can earn money, what is the return of investment, that's where the business plan comes. Business plan is nothing but an idea is making a business and how it can earn money. That is what is nothing called business plan. If you don't have that clarity right to you or to your students, then and sitting in university, that may not be your actually primary objective, right? Business plan requires so many pages and so many of critical analysis of customers in terms of competition, the USPs. what investors actually like. You see, in 10 minutes, they can figure out saying that, okay, it won't work. In 5 minutes, you can say that it will work. I mean, they have that gut feeling. They have seen hundreds of thousands of ideas actually all over the world, all over places. So the way you convince them that with a prototype is definitely its work. But I don't think the working on a business plan and then making it, it should be taken up as entrepreneurship cell, I think. And some support staff should be there to help them, students. I think at college level, if they are able to at least present their business plan, even in slides, right? Then to some investors, I think it's worth trying out. And if business plan supported with patents, right? Because I know some students are also applied patents, and that patent means it is my idea. It's unique idea actually. Because the another problem with patent is it almost like 30 to 40,000 or 50,000 rupees you have to spend for patenting also.
Yes, sir.
Patent major work is drafting. You need to draft accordingly to the technical terms and go to the patent office and file it, and then you will get a patent number. But
Yes,
if
sir.
you have patent, if you have the idea is original idea, then go to investors. Yes, you are about to crack. Of course, the idea is really something compelling, and it is really unique in the industry or the market.
Yes, sir. Yes. Sir, I have a small idea regarding the angel investors as well as the CSR fund. So, how come the students or individuals can access for those funding, sir?
CSR funds are nowadays companies are actually very choosy about where they invest CSR funds. For example, all the big companies like Wipro and Info, TechMahindra, all this, they have their own small organization like Ajim Premji Foundation kind of things, or even TechMahindra, their own foundations. They spend through that. They route the funds through that. That means they will give that fund to them, and they will actually go to the schools and they will distribute some computers, or they'll set up something. They'll educate teachers. Their agenda is different actually. Their agenda is how can they build their brand to their own company, not helping students. I mean, that is not their agenda actually. Most of the companies. And CSR funds are not meant for technology, more for helping villages, maybe some other purpose. I have not seen any CSR funds meant for technical, but other thing is angel investors, no? Unless you have a business plan and the idea is really unique, and go to that level of meeting them and spending that time, no? It's not one this thing, no? You may have to meet some 50 investors. Do you have time for meeting them and presenting this story to them? That's where the challenges are coming to universities. But once you cross your third year or end of this fourth year or about to complete, no? That time people can spend time and energy and come out and then support it. But during the academic years, I think it's not so easy case to come out with that kind of a investor related documentation also.
Okay, sir.
Sir, unique idea, there are actually two outcomes, right, sir? See, unique idea, nobody are used to it. Like, they don't accept things early. What is that? They just follow what is there. If we bring something unique, there's a less chances to get a hit or, get a lot of shares and investment in it. And there is another outcome that it's a new thing. Let's promote it. Let's use it. Wow, this is cool. And we'll more invest. Anything can happen. How can we predict?
Investors will think only in one angle, whether it will bring money to them or not. They will not think whether it is acceptability or not acceptability. That is all the secondary things. Whether if I invest into this product, will it bring money? That's the only question they will ask you, and you have to answer to that. If it is not going to bring the money, can be whatever the reasons you are explaining, maybe acceptability a reason, can be hundreds of other reasons. But the bottom line is, investors, why do they want to invest money first of all? What is their motive to invest in your company?
So do they have an organization like angel investors organization?
There are so many are there. So many companies, so many angel investors forums are there. So many are there. And even one of the forum I know is this Triple IT Gachibowli, they have their T-Hub, they are having, they regularly conduct, and then you can even propose some of the papers or ideas to there also. T-Hub, they conduct this innovative some competitions, hackathons and all kind of things, product shows. There you can present, and on the fly investors actually show the interest and invest also in some great ideas, and if you can showcase there. So like that, no, there are some forums where you can present your ideas. Bottom line is whether somebody will buy and will the investors make money out of it. That's all the answers that you need to give.
Okay.
And the other thing you said, competition, the last point that was in the last point in the slide, competition. Can you please talk about that, sir?
See, competition is you have to know your strengths and your weaknesses. For example, if you are selling a product, you want to come out with this innovative product, and if suppose you are coming out with 100 rupees, and then there are other products available already for 50 rupees, and your materials or investment, your all this comes to be 80 rupees. That's why you want to sell for 100 rupees. So if you are just without even thinking into the market, what is available, if you just introduce for 100 rupees, somebody will come to you? At very layman terms I'm talking. So which means that you need to understand the market in terms of who are the other competitors who are already there in the market, what is their price, what is their features. Can you add some extra value addition features or some very highly competing features where you can sell for some extra rupees, maybe 50 rupees, but you can sell definitely for 100 rupees because of XYZ, 3, 4. Can you really go to that mark, that level? For example, coffee shops, you know, the Starbucks is 500 rupees coffee. And maybe if you go to Coffee Day, maybe 125 rupees. And another small shop, it goes for 10 rupees. There's a market for all the three, right? Today, why are they making money 500 rupees for a coffee versus 120 rupees in Coffee Day versus 10, 12 rupees in a normal buddy on corner? It's the same coffee actually, maybe in a different mug, different ambience, different environment, but different pricing, right? People are going there. No, Starbucks is very popular, even Hyderabad also.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So it is sometimes it's not just about just a product, but also the pricing depends on how you are promoting it, what are the features, what kind of ambience, and a lot of other factors depends on the value addition part, not just the product part. For example, an excellent packaging will also attract more this thing, like just water. If you brand like Bisleri and this and that, very nice high-fi product wrap, you tend to spend more money, like okay, 100 rupees, no problem. But if you know branding is there, just a very normal packaging without any labels also, do you want to spend that money? You doubt about it, right? You think that no, that may not be authentic.
Yes, you the airport, in airport we see the water bottles, packaged water.
Yeah.
That is actually the most impure water, sir. But you know, the labeling and the marketing, how do they represent it? Using the white light and posh ambience, many of the people buy it. The water looks sweety. It's okay. Whatever it may be, it looks tasty. So many of them buy like that.
End of the day, there are buyers and there are sellers, and there is a market, and they are able to capture it. If you talk from entrepreneurship point of view, he's making a product which is people are buying it, right?
Actually, as you said about Starbucks, I just want to share a small perspective in his.
Yeah.
Starbucks actually even takes dollars, sir. So today dollar rate may be anything like 69 or 73. So they are like, I don't have an Indian currency. So they take in dollars. Maybe the change and all, they give something, a small thing, another thing in the Starbucks itself. But the value of the Starbucks, the dollar thing, today it may be 69. Their bill may be 69 rupees. But tomorrow the dollar he gave him yesterday its price is 73. It's just a profit of 3 rupees in a single day.
Yes.
Yeah, I think there is different business models. Actually, Starbucks also, there's a lot of, I think they were not seeing India as a place to come, but finally they came along with Tata, the joint venture of Tata actually now. But they are making good, I think, entry into the country. Even, for example, Netflix also, they thought India, nobody will spend that much of money. But now you see, Netflix is becoming like, it's there from last 10 years in already US and other countries. But why it has come only last 1 or 2 years? Because they also see the market research that people are now spending money in India also. They want entertainment. People are at home most of the time. They want options, not just the TV. So I think even the people's choices or the perspectives are changing. They want more entertainment. That's how the companies are also cashing it.
The last doubt, sir, maybe.
Yes.
We have many apps, Uber, Ola, Netflix, as you said. But there are always people who try to hack them up. Hacking in sense the server goes down, or we have bugs, or bugs are actually introduced. If there are no bugs, actually, new bugs are introduced to it. How would that be prevented, sir? How do we take precautions?
Well, why do you think that company want to introduce bugs, sir? I'm curious to know your
No,
thoughts.
not the company, sir. Not the company. Like the servers go down for many issues, but there are always. Let's take an example of Netflix, sir. We are talking about Netflix. Netflix, we have to take a subscription, and then we have to use it. But there are few things like Telegram. Telegram, it makes a ID for a single day. It like first we have a 1 month free thing and all. So in Telegrams there are many channels saying for this single day it produces an ID and a password, and it just vanishes the next day. So you can use the whole day, the Netflix whole day. These are kind of bugs.
It is actually not a bug per se. It's a kind of hacking. It's a kind of entering
yes, sir. Hacking
illegally taking the advantage of different routes. And see as the technology is evolving, right, and also the hackers are evolving. They know how to crack the systems. Like once the iPhone was used for some defense related or some chatting, and the government asked Apple actually, saying that I want to decrypt the message. What is happening? Its phone got blocked. They were not able to open. Apple said we don't know how to open the app phone. Then but what happened in Israel? They found a guy hacker who was able to open the Apple phone. So there are always hackers are there who are more smarter than even developers sometimes. That is the story, I think. But there are security systems are coming every day, and they are checking it out. I think there are courses also, ethical hacking, but it's a never-ending story anyway. That's a different route altogether.
Okay, sir. Fine. It's almost 2 hours done, sir. I have the last question for you, sir. I hear we are very much interested to encourage the students towards innovation and entrepreneurship, sir. As a part of that one, we introduced the new course also in this academic year, that is experiential engineering education. So as a part of that class, we are giving the various dimensions for students to excel in their careers, sir. Suppose if the students are taking innovation and entrepreneurship as a career, and how the career look like, sir?
See, more than when you say career, right?
Yes.
It is are they wanted to be entrepreneur or they want to join a company? See, again, entrepreneurship mindset per se is liked by the companies, many companies. The reason for entrepreneurship liked by the companies is you actually want to take a risk you want to take decision, you have leadership qualities, you want to be a role model, you are very perseverance is very high, you want to really try hard to achieve the thing. So there are certain qualities that companies are wanted to look at the person. Even suppose a person who has actually who started a company, who failed also, is become a failed entrepreneur, but still company likes him because the skills that he might have gained through the process of putting a company and even running it and then failing, that experience is really rich actually. So that way, I think entrepreneurship in general is definitely worth pursuing. But the career, I think my opinion is that it is more useful for the people or students who want to start some companies, who want to really start something on their own. That is much more helpful. But as a general qualities, I think entrepreneurship, I think it's it's useful for everybody, not just for somebody who wants to start a company, but even for somebody who want to even join companies also. They need to be a leader actually. At the end of the day, the person who is leading and who is actually able to explain and convince others about an idea, I think that they are really liked, I think. So I think it's a good idea. It's really nice thought process you came out with this concept. But is it only for first year students or all the years?
No, right now we targeted this joining batch, sir. So from this academic year onwards, for every semester, we'll be have a separate course on in this direction, sir, for this batch of the students.
In today, whoever is joined, is it first year computer
Yeah,
science?
yeah, first year computer science students, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Good.
sir. Yeah.
Nice to know.
Yes, yes, sir. Thank you for your wonderful session, sir. So, and also, first of all, we'd like to thank
from everybody.
Yeah. I would like to thank you from Institute of Aeronautical Engineering for accepting our invitation, sir. And in the future, we'll invite you to our college and you may interact with our students physically, sir. So it will be very much useful for our students, sir.
Somebody who is interested in the deep learning and machine learning area, right? We have some projects ongoing. We
Yes,
have
sir.
some, I can involve them into some of these deep learning projects actually.
Yeah, right now, final year students are in the stage of taking the projects, sir. So
Okay.
we'll talk to computer science head or some other departments. So those who are interested to do a project or internship in that area, we'll try to find out, sir, and we'll come back to you, sir.
Okay, done.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir, for accepting our invitation.
Bye.
Sir?
Bye, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, sir. Guys?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hope you enjoyed the session, right?
Yes, sir. Session was very informative.
Okay, guys. Thank you. Thank you for your cooperation.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.